McCarthy, Brian Carroll up against each other, two doubles partners. My name is Dave Vincent alongside my partner in crime for this match, Tony Healy. Tony, they're from the same county.
They're not.
Okay, they're wearing the same shirt.
They are.
Okay. Robbie McCarthy's from
Westmeath.
Okay,
and
Westmeath.
Brian is from Meath. Different counties.
One's from Westmeath and the other one's from Meath, but they're wearing the same colors.
And they're different counties, yeah.
Okay.
So, and they're doubles partners.
That confused me a little bit.
This is a game I'm looking forward to because I haven't, because I've been out maybe and I haven't seen as much of the games the last couple of years. I haven't really seen the improvement in Robbie McCarthy. When I was playing, you know, a couple of years back, Robbie was still kind of developing and, you know, definitely wasn't in the shape that I hear he's in now. So, you know, from what I believe, he's an unbelievably improved player. He was always a great handballer, but he's really stepped it up now. And also, I think Brian has had some great results in the last couple of years and really improved as well. So, so Robbie is the favourite here. It'll be a very interesting kind of a match.
I think Robbie's going to have to light it up early. He's one of those players that's got hidden power. He loafs to a shot. We were talking about that with Luis Cordoba earlier. And then he punishes the ball when he gets to it, sort of like that Luis Moreno kind of feel. Yeah, when you watch him play.
Yeah, he's just all natural ability, I suppose. He's like that since he was a kid.
I thought it was a little strange to see the two doubles partners play each other, and the first point goes to Brian Carroll here.
Great kill, great serve, great kill.
Would Brian Carroll be one of those players that if you were going to enter a doubles tournament that you would say, yeah, I'll play doubles with him?
Yeah, I think
put him on the right side?
I think everybody feels like that. I think there isn't a player in the country that wouldn't want to play with Brian Carroll. But again, in the same Finnegan vein, you know, he's probably a guy that, you know, he, as a player shouldn't be overshadowed by his achievements in doubles. I think he's a much improved singles player as well.
0-2.
Score here is 0-2. We play 2-21, tiebreaker to 11. The server has to get that ball over the line, the second line that you see, furthest away from the front wall, and get that ball into play. Ball cannot bounce twice.
2-2.
Loose miss there from Brian.
Robbie McCarthy is another one of those players that looks like he's shooting a ball out of a cannon. Incredible leverage. Oh, and Robbie actually lifts up there.
Yeah, it was tight. Like, it was a great get from Robbie, but he certainly shielded Brian's vision of the ball as Brian was coming in to get it, though perhaps Brian was too far away.
We don't have the best angle, and I know the ref does, so possibly he just gave it to him because it was just a good shot.
Yeah.
And the two bounce call right there. Good sportsmanship from Robbie McCarthy. The crowd likes it too.
2-3.
One thing about Brian Carroll that has been talked about for many, many years now, even though he's still a young guy, is that he is one of the best retrievers in the game.
Yeah, yeah, he's so fast, fierce, flexible, and very good anticipation, I think. You know, just be a good retriever. I think he anticipates probably very well up front as well.
Carroll back in the box.
2-3.
Referee is Sean Lenning. Lenning does not referee many handball matches.
Robbie going for a big kill there, not getting it.
4-3. 4-3.
I think, Dave, what we probably don't realize about these two as well, like, is they probably train a lot together, and, you know, though Robbie's certainly the more successful player at the moment, I'm sure Brian probably knows Robbie's game better than anybody, and Brian probably has his own thoughts better than any other player going in to play Robbie, is what he might do and how he would beat him.
that shot right there is not as easy as it seems,
3-5.
Tony. We see a lot of players miss that into the floor.
Yeah,
It's not one you can practice.
Yeah, it looks like a setup, but you get kind of handcuffed.
Everyone says, well, he had the easiest shot in handball, and he hit it in the ground. And the crowd always goes, oh, I can't believe he missed that. But really, it's one of the harder shots to
Sure is,
make. But go back to your point. Brian certainly has a game plan against Robbie. Usually when you see two doubles partners play each other, they kind of fiddle around for the first 12 points before they get serious.
Well, I suppose I don't know whether he does or not, but I would just guess that he would, given that they play and know each other's games very well.
I think Brian certainly knows what he has to do. Executing is one step further than that, though. Like that shot right there, and now a side out.
3-5.
That's a nice, beautiful shot from Brian Carroll.
I think Robbie is still trying to find the range on that serve down the right. A lot of his game depends on this serve and is dictated by this serve going very, very well for him.
5-3.
So he's probably waiting to find his range on that as well.
Robbie came to the U.S. Open last year about this time. That looked like two bounces, but no call. And I'm sure Robbie would have called it if it was.
I think he got it, yeah. Looked good to me.
3-5.
Great get.
He came to the U.S. Open and took the award last year, defeating Charlie Shanks in a close tiebreaker.
4-5.
That's right. I watched that game on your webcast.
So you're the one.
Together at 5. 5-5. Short. Second.
It's very early on in the first game, 5-5. This is the men's round of 16. If somebody just tuned in, they would locally here, they'd think this was a local handball tournament final.
Some great gets there, both players.
5-5.
I love the way Robbie's able to turn that left hand inside out like that and keep that ball flat.
5-5.
Yeah.
Looks like he's winding up for like a huge Irish whip, but somehow he's able to get his hand underneath it.
Yeah, and he has a great ability in his hands too to take the pace off the ball, which is a brilliant skill to have. You know, when ball is coming hard at you, to have the control to be able to, you know, to paddle it back with control, just like he's doing there.
Six, 5.
Talk about Robbie as the person. I know that you knew him a while back when he was a little bit younger and maybe not as mature as he is now, but have you had any opportunities to talk to him? It seems like he's really grown up, you know, over the last 6 years or so, 5 years.
Yeah, he has. Like, as you know, he's one of the national champions here now, and he's won the 60x30 title, and you know, he's turned into one of the top players. He was probably always heading that way, and you know, dominating a lot of the underage grades, but not really pushing on any of the senior guys. But it's hard to be that critical of him because you know he was still kind of winning all his own grades. It's just people felt he should be making an impression, and you know, I suppose, for want of a better word, I suppose he's kind of focused on that and got himself into better shape, and you know, he definitely is one of the country's top players now.
It is an interesting code as you look at the styles from Ireland to the United States. The U.S. players go into the pros really quick, sometimes at the age of 16 or 17. In Ireland, they seem to follow a code. In some cases, not all, but you know, there's a young kid by the name of Martin Mulcairns who was the collegiate national champion. He decided to play in the 23 and under division here as opposed to entering the open division here at the Worlds, where he would do probably pretty well and would have a chance to be in this round of 16 and even the
Fair enough.
the quarterfinals with a good win. But he said he has to go through a process.
Yeah, I suppose it depends on the
5,
player. Like
6.
you saw Killian this morning
Yeah.
played the Open because he really wanted to get into the Open experience, and Martin is he's still under 19s as well, but he's like to play up a little bit as well and play in the 23s. Was always going to be a very tough grade. But
That one,
Martin
I thought he had a
specifically,
setup
just
here.
like Killian, is they're real future stars. They're fantastic players, both of them. So
Wouldn't wanna
I
take that
would
risk.
expect that Martin isn't. While Killian is entering the Open, I guess for experience, I would be looking that Martin would be looking at the 23s as a title he could possibly win.
Yeah, that's exactly what he said as we take a look at that replay there during the timeout called by Brian Carroll. Let's listen
5,
for the
6.
score. That was a real quick cadence from the referee. I believe he said 5-6. Is Brian Carroll left-handed?
6, 6.
Yeah, he really has an unorthodox style with his left that's just so effective. Like, he really flattens the ball, really stays down. Even off the back wall there as well. I think he's even not going for the kill sometimes.
Nice get right there for Carroll, but unable to dig that second one. Robbie McCarthy scoring a point.
6, 6.
So yeah, they still seem to be kind of, as you say, feeling each other out and
Second serve.
get into the groove of both their games.
I see that a lot with two guys that are sparring partners. They don't usually come out and attack when they're close sparring partners. There's others that have like a little animosity
6,
that might have
6.
built up. They play each other out of circumstance, but these guys are actually friends and doubles partners. So I kind of
Second
anticipated that you wouldn't see them get totally serious right out of the gate. But it's not to say that they're just going through the motions, because we've seen some really good shots already.
6, 6.
We're all together at 6 here.
Big setup there.
That's a big setup there. Somehow this rally's still going on.
It is, yeah. Brian's had a couple of opportunities to finish it. But he finished it on a good shot. It possibly should have been finished 4 or 5 shots earlier. What's interesting actually about the game is that they're both kind of playing at the same tempo. They're both
7, 6.
kind of going the same pace between the rallies and playing at the same kind of pace. There's no real dictating one over the other.
8,
Sort of like an 80%, but without that 80%
8,
shot
6.
selection. I mean, the shots are great, but it seems like they're playing a little bit defensive in a lot of ways.
And what's also interesting to me is that Brian is going for that 3-ball serve. It's like what I'm saying, that he seems to know something maybe that the rest of us don't know when he's playing Robbie, because it is working well for him.
Wow, look at that. That ball ate up Brian Carroll. It just went right into his midsection. He just fought it off
9,
and went right down to the
6.
corner.
Beautiful shot. Brian is in a great rhythm here now. Like he's getting everything he wants off that serve. It's coming back to his right hand, and he can attack the next shot. I'm surprised that
10,
Robbie
6.
isn't going out to cut off that serve. If you were playing Paul Brady there, you'd get maybe one opportunity with a shot like that, and he'd be in flight killing the next one.
Hold it. Hold it.
Sean Lenning's going to stop play here.
Screen.
A little too much congestion.
Ten, 6.
Brian Carroll's got the lead here, 10-6. Well, every now and then there's a certain player that knows how to serve one of the game's best. Not everybody can do it, but certain players can. And good example would be Alan Garner knows
6-10.
how to serve Luis Moreno. Not a lot of players know how to do it.
Yeah, Brian is doing well. He's starting to get a stranglehold on
10-6.
Robbie here and put a little bit of pressure on him.
That's going to go all the way to the front wall. Brian has not handled those front wall shots very well today.
No, and a valuable
6-10.
valuable point it would have been for him too, taking a 5-point lead.
Here's another freebie. Over hits it down the middle. Robbie doesn't though and goes to the corner and kills it. Brian's got really a 2-point turnaround
7-10.
here.
Yeah, a couple of poor shots there from Brian. Just really giving it easy to Robbie.
That's a beautiful chain of events right there.
Yeah, that's a 2 or 3 point turnaround.
8-10.
Robbie has a great, powerful serve.
I'm
Boy,
gonna
that
call
ball's
short.
unbelievable.
Yeah,
You
short,
can't
I
really
think.
feel it. Sorry. You want a linesman? I asked. I asked if you want a linesman. You want one? Can we get a linesman, please? Somebody?
Pretty interesting. Sean Lennon goes in before
for
the
that
game
one,
started and asked the guys if they want line judges. They both declined. And then Robbie comes over and then appeals for a line judge that he said he didn't want.
Yeah, ball looks short though.
Yeah, it's hitting right on before
Second
the line.
serve.
Excuse me,
Yeah, it's before the line.
before the line. Great camera angle, great camera work there.
Oh, that ball was going up, wasn't it?
8-10. That was
I thought
too close,
so.
Robbie.
I thought it was actually an avoidable. Tells you what I know. Now all of a sudden, Robbie McCarthy's just 1 point away.
9-10.
And one section here, he was about ready to trail by 5 points. Now within just a couple seconds, he's...
Yeah, and he hasn't
Second.
done a whole lot. Brian's, there's a couple of points there where Brian really could have pushed ahead and a couple of casual misses. He's probably not as clinical as he should be. There again is a big setup. Good kill.
Those are the type of shots that makes me wonder if he's a lefty, because it actually looks like a shot a left-hander would make.
Oh yeah,
10-9.
and he backs himself in to take him with the left, where other players would take it naturally with their right. He seems to rather take it with his left.
Robbie's going to miss this. Once again, it's an overhit. Robbie has to learn to just touch that ball up there as the play is still alive.
Great shot.
I keep saying Robbie, but it's actually Brian Carroll. Brian doesn't need to power that ball up there.
No.
He can actually just touch it with a
Yeah.
soft little paddle.
And when you're in that position, the harder you hit that ball in these courts, the more likely it is to pop
11-9.
off the back wall.
It's also a great
11-9.
opportunity for a two-wall pass.
Yeah, you have to bring the walls into play.
The worst thing you can do is just go front to back again, because you're way out of position.
Set up.
And Brian Carroll takes care of that setup.
It's Brian is
12-9.
dictating the shots here. Robbie is looking to kind of, I don't know, he's not really being as aggressive as he should and not shooting as much as he should. It's Brian is kind of, being the aggressor here and getting the results for it. And definitely this serve is really working well for Brian.
13-9.
He's got 5 or 6 setups from it from this first game.
Score here is 13-9 with Brian Carroll in the lead. See what Robbie does to get a comeback going. It's a good catch, though.
10-13.
Now, what's the difference between Westmeath and Meath?
Well, they're 2 different counties.
11-13.
They're touching, though, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
But it's not like Meath is. There's a east and west. They're just two different counties. Oh, it's a good call.
Was there some fighting going on that they had to separate?
Don't ask me. I don't know the
counties?
history of that one actually. But
I mean, you only create the
12,
West if
13.
you're not happy with what's going on in the East, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm assuming there's some history there.
Skipped in. So Robbie's having trouble finding his range. You know, he's not making a huge amount of points from
13, 12.
from what he would normally do in his, you know, serving and killing, and that's kind of his game. So seems to be a little bit off balance and a little bit unsure of himself at the moment.
Beautiful shot right there from Brian Carroll. We're going to have to, see what this is going to do to
14,
these
12.
players when they have to come back and play in the round of 8 later tonight. They're doing an American style here
That's
at the
right,
World
yeah.
Championships.
14, 12.
2 games today for all players, but any of these players are in such shape that wouldn't really matter to them.
I'm surprised, Tony, that they didn't do the 2 rounds of the 32 and 16s
12,
on
14.
the same day as opposed to 16 and 8. Draw is so heavy. I mean, it is more matches my way, but this is the world. You can play around the clock.
Great rally here. Probably shouldn't have let it go deep into the corner. I think he knows it too. There's an opportunity to take that ball earlier.
Every point
13,
moving forward
14.
is so critical here. Great powerful serve right there from Robbie McCarthy. A lot of congestion up front.
That to
That's
me
a
was
setup.
unavoidable.
I wish you would just swing.
Do you think?
I thought so.
Together at 14.
He never got out of the way at all. But Brian should have taken his shot
That's a
properly.
setup.
Shouldn't have held up.
Just swing right through it. You want that shot, don't you? I think you want that shot, right? I'll call it next time if you want.
Sean's saying, I think you won it. But
14, 14.
Robbie didn't move. I think that was more, the argument here.
Oh yeah, he didn't give him enough space.
Yeah, I want the shot, but I want the guy to move so I can take the shot. Now you're seeing Robbie McCarthy kind of light it up just a little bit here.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. I think he feels now is the time to get back into the match.
Well, he's back in. 15 to 14 is the score here after trailing 14 to 9,
15,
I believe.
14.
Nice little 5-point run. 6-point run.
There's a shot. So that's Robbie's game there. Really good serve. Get a weak return and just flatten
16, 14.
He wasn't missing that serve down the right yesterday. There's a
Second
little
serve.
spot over there that really makes a loud noise. It's about where one of the panels meets. Might be just a little loose, but it sounds like a gun is going off. Nice get right there. Brian Carroll digs that ball. The rally's still going on here. And
Great
Robbie
rally.
tries to dig it to the front wall with an underhand scoop. Paddle re-kill and is unsuccessful. And Brian Carroll's rewarded with that nice dive that he got earlier. And he's going to call a timeout. Smart one for Brian Carroll. It is the men's first game.
Brian's got great. He's one of those players that's in the game in every point. Never giving up on any shot, on any rally. So he's a great competitor.
Let's watch the replay here. Brian Carroll just goes down and kills that ball right in the front court. Would have been nice to see that replay earlier when he dove to that side wall, Tony. But great camera coverage that we're getting today here live from the pavilion that we're in.
Robbie just about got this one too. It's almost made the front wall.
We're at City West Arena in Dublin, Ireland, just down the street from Saggart. taking a look at a few of the top replays that we caught.
Yeah, that shot there is interesting. Most players will back into the middle of the court to take that on their right. Brian naturally takes all those shots with his left hand with great effect. You know.
Well, the problem with taking it with your right, Tony, first of all, you're going backwards, but secondly, you're kind of closing your own door. You have less opportunities unless you want to try to poke that down the right wall.
Yeah, well, to me, my shot would be to back into the right and power that thing down the left, whereas Brian comes around his back and tends to shoot towards the left then, you know.
Yeah.
It's kind of as predictable as what I would do from the right, but, you know, he's doing it fierce effectively, so it works as a great shot for him. It just seems to be his natural shot out of that corner.
Some players have their little thing. I would have tried to back out, and then I would have tripped and fell. And that's how I would have handled
14,
that.
16.
You want to put a 6-foot hop on it there or something spectacular as well.
Little contact right there. Brian's trying to get that one over. He's going to.
15, 16.
Thought I saw Sean Lenning, the referee, put a mark on the scorecard there. Here's a big setup for Robbie. He's going to power that ball down the wall.
Robbie's
Dugout.
not making those setups today. And
his legs might be feeling it.
yeah. Though he's still well in the match. Like this is going right down to the wire. Set up here for Robbie. Again. Oh.
Brian tried to dive in with a backhanded swipe.
Yeah, wrong option though, because he was there. I'd say he was there earlier than he anticipated, because he actually looked like he had maybe a bit of extra time on that shot that he didn't know about there.
It's almost like the ground when
16,
he landed
15.
altered his flick with his backhand. I think he could have used his other hand if he wanted to.
Yeah, I think so.
Sometimes players don't feel comfortable diving and using their offhand to hit the ball. They would rather flick it with the back part of their hand.
Second
Yeah,
serve.
some players do, yeah. But great athleticism shown by both players here.
Well, they're no longer sparring partners at this point. No longer friends. I think we're over that stage, Tony.
Yeah.
They're both trying to pick their moments. Both making defensive shots, trying to force an error like this right here, and Robbie's going to go for it, leaves it up. Now the game is down again, and that ball just slid out of that side wall.
Yeah, great pass, but again a setup for Robbie.
15,
that must be
16.
starting to frustrate Robbie a little bit, that he is getting those setups and he's not getting down on them.
Brian was in the way. Robbie lifted his hands. No call from the referee. Now Robbie has the pass, goes for the corner kill, and
Oh, great shot.
Brian gets it, and I don't think Robbie's going to be too happy here with the
No.
referee.
Well, or himself, like he had a setup there again. So he is getting tight. And Brian is playing
16,
great, you know.
16.
So he's really putting it to Robbie. Oh, great shot from Robbie. Change of direction with his
16,
left hand,
16.
sidearm stroke. Very difficult shot to execute.
And now a point.
17, 16.
It's a foot fault there. No call from the ref. Short
Second
ball
serve.
anyway. Second serve, Robbie McCarthy. First game, playing 2-21, breaker to 11. This is the men's round of 16 at the World Handball Championships in Dublin, Ireland at City West Arena.
You can nearly feel Robbie searching for the extra gear now. He's looking to come out and finish the game. That's a tough miss from Brian.
Can't miss at this point of the game.
16.
18-16. Just over the line. It's a dig right there from McCarthy. Carroll to the corner. McCarthy down on the ground. Carroll pops it back. McCarthy's going to get that. Now we're up front, and Carroll misses that little dig, and he tries it 3 more times and gets 1 out of the 3.
Yeah, great rally, great rally. But like I say, Robbie's just pushed it on another little bit.
19-16.
Stepped it up sufficiently to get his nose in front. That serve, he's starting to find the range and the power.
And there's a swing and a miss, and there's a timeout.
That's your
Tony,
third.
you've seen this, and you've done it so many times where you had to dig really hard to get a victory in one of the games. You come into either the second game or the tiebreaker. How do you get up and try to match
16-19.
the momentum, or the enthusiasm that you had, or the emotion that you had when you just came back from a huge deficit, or you struggled shot by shot in one of the previous games? How do you get back up for that?
Well, I guess that's one of the good things about handball, the dynamics of, in one match you go through so many emotions. You're making a comeback, you're coming back from a game loss, which is always easier because you feel fired up, and after a game win, sometimes players can get relaxed. And I suppose it goes back to the thing of, it's all between the ears, and it has less to do with the handball at that point, but more to do with your approach to the game and how you can respond to the situations. I suppose the really good players can respond and come out of slumps and various points in the game all within the one game. They don't have to go home and come back to do it the next day.
Well, this one certainly is not over yet, and I can't equate that thought of having to go back and regroup and try to regain some of that momentum, or that passion that you had in a previous game yet, because it's not over with. But certainly whoever loses this one is going to have to come into the next game and try to tap into something that they were doing successful, because both of these guys have been successful in this first game.
Yeah.
No matter which way the score goes, you could say that Brian Carroll, if he does lose, had a great
16-19.
game, and if he wins, you can say that Robbie McCarthy also played well. So
Well, Brian has made about 200% more kill shots than Robbie, but he's got a lot more unforced errors than Robbie. Robbie's still playing very solid, though he mightn't be making the setups he wants to make. He's still playing very, very solid, and not as many hand errors as Brian.
well, that one was almost a hand error from Brian, and instead he hits a
17-19.
kill shot, a perfect kill shot, in fact. Look at Carroll. He's able to get to that ball and unable to push it to the front wall, and there's a side out.
Yeah, he was there, I think. He got to it. He just didn't get it up to the wall. So now we're going to see a big, big serve from Robbie.
19-17.
Score is 19-17 down the right with a little wrinkle on it. That ball stayed flat, just over the line. Fist pump from Robbie.
Yeah, great serve.
20-17.
Just when he needed it.
This is game point.
Short. Second serve.
That's a tough serve right there. It's going to be a huge setup.
Oh, great get. Set up for Robbie.
And he skips it in. There's going to be a side out here as Brian Carroll now goes into serve at 17-20.
Oh, well, that is a tough miss. Tough miss when you're at 20. But Robbie's a very, very cool player as well. That won't affect him too much.
17-20.
He'll be ready for the next rally. He's that kind of player. Very confident player.
Surprised to see Carroll go for that pass shot up there when he had that corner
20-17.
sitting right in front of him.
Yeah, no, he at that point in the game, you just can't afford to try and pass those. Not when you have that type of a setup. You just have to flatten the ball.
20-17.
You're down by 4 points. You're not going to get those on that type of pass shot. And Robbie McCarthy takes the first game, 21-17. Robbie McCarthy defeats Brian Carroll, 21-17. I'm sure that Brian is a little frustrated with himself because
he had a lot of opportunities to win that game, and Robbie, I suppose, like a champion finds a way to win. Robbie wouldn't be very happy with the way he's playing there. Not executing a lot of his setups, but again pushed it up at the right time. Made the big serves there near the end, and cut out a lot of his unforced errors. So found a way to win the game.
we're going to have game number 2 coming up in 4 minutes. We want you to stick around. It is the World Handball Championships, City West Arena, Dublin, Ireland, men's round of 16. Robbie McCarthy and Brian Carroll will have game number 2 coming up next. You stick around here at racerate.com.